Yeah, good evening once again, and thank you so very much for joining. So, in the morning class, we discussed about couple of definitions. So, those definitions are SIM tool, SOC, IP address, NIC card, MAC address, and also proxy server or secure web gateway in the similar way firewall, inbound traffic, outbound traffic, net flow data, and block listing and whitelisting, hash values. So, SOC. So, these are the couple of definitions we discussed. So I will continue those definitions in the today evening class as well. So once I will complete all these abbreviations and definitions, then tomorrow I will start our networking concepts for ASLAS. So that is the agenda for today evening class. Let's start now. So next one is DNS. So full form is domain name server, or also called as a system. So why this DNS we will use? So to convert host name into IP address or domain name into IP address, or else we can use to convert IP address into domain as well. So we can use in both the ways. So converting the domain name into IP address and also IP address into domain name. For resoluting the domain name, we can use. So why always we have to create a domain? Because we should not expose our private IP address to public. In case if you are exposing and you are not mapping domain name into IP address, so attacker will do port scanning mechanisms and he can identify, so respect to IP address of the or organization side. So then he will use couple of scanning mechanisms like port scanning mechanism and also TCP sync scan, Christmas scan, UDP scans. Then finally, whatever IP address we are providing instead of the domain name, so then automatically he will do couple of hacking part, and finally he can choose the respective selection of the target. So that is called recon basically. So after that, he will compromise our internal IP related end user systems or servers or databases. Not only that one, even second reason, we are not able to remember or we will not able to remember so many IP address. For example, instead of giving google.com in the web browser, if I will give 8.8.8.8, whether everybody will remember 8.8.8, it's very complicated. So how many IP addresses we have to remember? So main thing is, one is security reason, and also we should not expose our IP address to the public. And the third one is obviously for user friendly wise to provide the domain name instead of the IP address. Because of that particular reason only, we are using domain name system or domain name server. So how we can define this one now? It will convert or resolute domain name into IP address and vice versa. Okay. So if you want to convert this domain name into IP address or IP address into domain name, for that one, we have to configure couple of records in the DNS server. So those records, we have approximate more than 10 records are there. So those records we have to configure to map IP address into domain name or domain name into IP address. So what is DNS record? To configure or map IP address to domain name or domain name to IP address, we will configure couple of records. Those records called as DNS records. Okay. So example, I will give 2 or 3 records. So example of DNS records, we have A record, in the similar way 4A record, and also NS record or name server record. We have CNAME record, and also we have PT or reverse pointer record, and also HINFO record. Okay, and so on. We have so many records, basically MX record, text record, and so on. So that is about DNS. In-depth analysis, I will discuss part of our DNS server. So why we have to configure the domain name, and why always we have to give the domain name instead of the IP address. So because of the security reason, and also how to configure these DNS records, and what are the different types of DNS records are there, and each and every DNS record importance and also definition. Additionally, in future, we are going to discuss about one of the attack. So that attack name is called as DNS spoofing or DNS poisoning or DNS amplification attack. It's one of the very, very famous interview question as well. So attacker will try to do so directly configuring of the DNS server or compromising of the DNS server. Then on behalf of the DNS server, attacker will resolve domain name. Then he will take into the malicious websites or malicious application. Finally, our systems will get compromised. So that is the way how the attacker will do DNS spoofing part. So this one will fall under the spoofing category of the attack. Okay. So this is example of the attack related to DNS server. It's very important. So that is about DNS. So these records, as I said, so we will discuss part of the DNS server. Next one is a DHCP server. So full form is Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. For example, take enterprise level companies like, okay, so maybe SBI Bank or Apollo Hospitals, or maybe so TCS company or Infosys company. These are all more than 10,000 employees are there in the each and every location. In that scenario, assigning the static IP or fixed IP, it's very complicated. So assigning to each and every end user machine in manual way, it will take a lot of time. And also if you don't maintain the proper database, so a lot of IP conflicts will occur or collisions will occur. So to eliminate these drawbacks, whatever it is their part of the static IP, we will use dynamic IP host configuration protocol. So what this DHCP server will do, whenever any end user is connecting any system to through LAN or maybe via Wi-Fi, automatically DHCP server will look into what are the empty free slots available part of the IP address, and it will assign automatically that IP address to respective end user machine. So this particular IP address, whatever it is assigning to the end user machine, it is not for permanently. So it is for the specific period of the time. That time we can call it as a lease time. Okay. So it's like a leasing of the time period only that IP address can be allocated to end user machine. So how this particular DHCP server, it will assign the IP address to the end user machine using a DORA process. Okay. Discovery, offer, request, and acknowledgement. According to that particular process, DHCP server will allocate IP address automatically whenever any end user is connecting to the respective either LAN or maybe through Wi-Fi connectivity. So that is the importance of the DHCP server. Okay. So how we can define this one? DHCP server will assign the IP address or release the IP address automatically whenever end user it is connecting to either local area network or else through wireless using process name is called as, what the process name I said? DORA. So what is DORA here? Discovery, offer, request, and finally acknowledgement. So I will explain this one later. What is meant by DORA and how it will work, and what are the drawbacks of the static IP. Okay, so those things I will explain part of the. So DHCP server, we have separate topic is there. There I will explain in-depth analysis. So that is about DHCP server. Next one, I will give the little bit introduction about cyber kill process. So it's a very, very important case, this one. Cyber kill process. So cyber kill process, basically it's a offensive mechanism. So what is meant by offensive? Whoever is doing hacking, those people we can call it as a offensive team. So why they will do hacking? Obviously for monetary functions or to do data exfiltration or data breach or data violation. So that is the reason always these offensive team or hackers or intruders or threat actors, they will try to do the hacking part. So here, this is not defensive mechanism. So it's an offensive mechanism only. So yesterday we discussed about SOC, not yesterday, today morning. So SOC, another name is called as a blue team. So blue team is a defensive team. Whenever any attacks is happening into the organization point of view, this blue team will go and will take care of the preventive mechanism proactively. So that is related to defensive mechanism. Offensive mechanism from the attacker point of view and hacker point of view. So what is cyber collision process now? So attacker will use couple of steps or phases, and finally he will try to compromise the respective system or database or application or server or maybe cloud and so on. So whatever steps or phases he is following, so those phases or steps, that entire process we can call it as cyber collision process. So it's an offensive mechanism, and also it is from the attacker point of view, not from the defensive point of view, from our SOC related or blue team related. Okay. So how we can define this one now? It is a step by step or phase by phase approach or process how the attacker will do hacking to the targeted mission. So the targeted mission may be end user mission, so or network or application or cloud or servers or database or infrastructure and so on. So here, what are the different types of phases we will use? So before going to that one, so it is an offensive mechanism. Okay. Now, what are the different phases we have? So we have a couple of phases. First phase is reconnaissance, recon. So second one is detection. Third one is transport or delivery. Fourth one is exfiltration or exploitation, sorry. Installation. Next one, command and control. So command and control is also called as C2C. Okay. Or C square. Command and control. So this is basically attacker server. Command and control is also inter equation. It is an attacker server. So he will do the remote control once any system or application or database or anything is getting compromised. So finally, so what is the main objective of any hacking part? So to achieve their goal or to get the monetary functions or maybe to take the data. So that is the actions or objective. So according to these phases or these process or these steps, attacker will do hacking part. So first one is recon or reconnaissance. Second one is weaponization. Third one is the transport or delivery. Fourth one is exploitation. Fifth one is installation. And sixth one is command and control. Finally, actions on objective. So this is the way how the attacker will do hacking to any targeted mission. So these steps is nothing but cyber collision process. So next one, MITRE attack framework. So yesterday entire question, this one. So MITRE is an organization once again. And so they will take care of the offensive and defensive both. Not only how the attacker is doing hacking, but also it will provide how we can take care of the preventive mechanisms or proactive process or proactive solution to block the hacking part. So it's a combination of both attacker point of view and also preventive mechanism point of view. So attacker point of view, as I said previously, offensive mechanism, and the security point of view. So we will call it as a defensive mechanism. So whatever SOC operations we are doing 24/7 into 365 days. So that particular combinations we can call it as MITRE attack framework basically. So in this MITRE attack framework, not only just it will provide about how the attacker will do hacking and defensive, even it will provide what are the different types of tactics and techniques and procedure attacker is using. So I will go and I will show practically this particular website. So just go to Google and enter MITRE attack framework. So click on MITRE attack here. And this is basically as institution, yesterday we discussed about WASP top 10, almost equivalent to that one only. So this particular attack, so A means adversaries, T means tactics, so T means technique, and CK means knowledge base. So by seeing this one itself, we know what is meant by MITRE attack framework. A means adversary. So what is meant by adversary obviously is a hacker. So T means what? Tactics. So attacker will use couple of tactics, how he can do hacking part. And T means techniques here once again. So attacker will do different types of techniques, and finally he will compromise the targeted mission. And CK is nothing but knowledge base, like reference documents and so on. So there is no need to buy hat anything here. And also here, right now, MITRE attack organization is supporting 3 different types of business verticals or 3 different types of business. So one is enterprise level, nothing but multinational companies or CMM 5 level companies or big data companies. We'll call it as a enterprise level. So approximately 10,000 plus users are existing in the organization. Those companies we can call it as enterprise level. And second one, so MITRE attack framework, it is providing tactics and techniques and procedure for mobile as well. And also ICS. It's an industrial control system. It's a part of operational technology and also IoT, Internet of Things, and also IIoT. So couple of practical examples to this particular ICS is SCADA and also automobile industry, electrical industry, civil industry, programmable logical control based companies. So those will fall under the ICS. Okay. So these 3 different types of organization point of view, defining the tactics and procedures. So under the tactics, just click on enterprise level. So here we can see approximate 14 tactics, not approximate. So exactly 14 tactics. So right now 14 tactics attacker will use basically for the hacking part. So techniques are more than 500 plus techniques are there. So those techniques attacker will use, and finally you will compromise the system. So these MITRE attack not only is giving how the attacker will use tactics and techniques, even it will provide the preventive mechanisms and detection mechanisms as well. So these are all the couple of tactics, for example, recon or reconnaissance, similar to cyber process selection of the target, resource development, privilege escalation, defense evasion, lateral movement, okay, discovery, command and control. So there are all these 14 tactics. So if I'm clicking on the reconnaissance, for example, now it will redirect it to techniques. So under the reconnaissance, there are so many techniques. These 14 techniques are divided into more than 500 plus techniques. So example, how the selection of the target attacker will do. He will do active scanning. He will do scanning of the IP blocks. He will do vulnerability scanning. He will send the phishing emails. So these are the different types of techniques. So yesterday in the interview point, what they asked, so tactics is about lateral movement. So once you are clicking on the lateral movement, we can see the techniques. So you should not only remember tactics, but also you have to remember these techniques as well. Okay. So as a human being, it's very difficult to remember 500 plus techniques. At least we have to remember 3 or 4 for each and every tactic. Okay. So these are all the different ways attacker will try to do hacking, and also he will use the tactics along with the techniques. Now, if I'm clicking this particular tactic, then it will redirect it to. So completely how this particular technique will be used and what is the procedure. So it will provide the TTP. I said TTP. TTP is for tactics and techniques and procedures. So these are all the different types of procedure attacker will use hacking, and also mitigations. That is what I said. So MITRE attack framework is an offensive mechanism and also defensive. Offensive side, you can see tactics, techniques, procedure. Defensive side, you can see mitigation or blocking or preventing. So that is the reason MITRE attack is called as combination of both offensive plus defensive mechanism. Okay. Any doubt in this one? So these are all the different types of detection methods and also mitigation method or preventive mechanisms will be provided by MITRE attack. Okay. So that is overall about MITRE attack framework. So as I said previously, in-depth analysis will be discussed part of the cyber and network attacks after the network architecture diagram discussion is going to complete. Okay. So now, who will use this particular MITRE attack framework? So this MITRE attack framework will be used by, so our threat hunters, nothing but part of our blue team or SOC team, reverse engineering team, so malware analysis team, cyber security analyst, information security analyst. In this similar way, so attackers or hackers. So this is the way how the combination of both offensive plus defensive, along with that one, it will provide knowledge base as well. Whenever any attack will occur, what is the tactic? Along with the tactic, technique, procedure, and also detection and mitigation step as well. So that entire process is called as MITRE attack framework. Okay. So it is a centralized. So before going to that one, so I will give the attack ATT@CK. So A full form is adversary. So T full form is tactic. Another T full form is technique. And CK is nothing but knowledge base. So now how we can define this one? It is a centralized knowledge base or database. It will provide how the attacker will do hacking using tactics, techniques, procedures, and also it will provide defensive mechanisms like detections and mitigations as well. So that is about overall MITRE attack framework. Then who will use this MITRE attack framework? So MITRE attack framework will be used by threat hunters, SOC team, or blue team, or reverse engineering team. Reverse engineering team is not like a product developers or application developers. Even in the security point of view also, from infiltration to exfiltration. So instead of the going from, so where the attack is started, so they will do the reverse engineering in opposite way. So they will go from exfiltration to infiltration. So how the data violation it's happened and what is the initial access to enter into the organization side. They will come in the opposite way. that is called reverse engineering capability, and also malware analysis team, along with threat detection teams. So these are all the people will be used by this MITRE attack framework, and whenever any attack it's happened, so they will go and they will analyze what type of tactic and techniques and procedure attacker used, and also what is the detection method, and also we can take care of the respective mitigation as well. So that is about overall MITRE attack. As I said, so there are 14 tactics, and these 14 tactics are divided into 500 plus techniques. Okay, so these techniques are not constant, but tactics are always constant. So tactics are always constant. It will not change that count, but techniques will be changed according to the new attacks, whatever it's happening all over the worldwide. Okay, whenever any new attack it's happened, so these R&D team of the different types of the vendors, maybe IBM or HP, or maybe Splunk or CrowdStrike or Palo Alto or Fortinet, all these vendors. So they have their own R&D team, research and development team. It's a part of the engineering related tool development. So and also they have a red team. So they will go and they will do the research analysis, and finally they will give which type of technique attacker is used. So these techniques are not constant. It will change according to the trending of the cybersecurity attacks, whatever it is going on so whatever it's going on across the worldwide or across the universe. So these techniques are not constant in nature. Okay. So that is about overall MITRE attack framework. As in-depth analysis regarding the reconnaissance, collection, discovery, resource development, lateral movement, privilege escalation, command and control. So data evasion, data exfiltration, all those things we will discuss in-depth analysis part of our main core content. So next one is TTP. Just now we discussed. So TTP full form is tactics, techniques, and procedures. And also we have adversary. So adversary is nothing but here, whoever is doing hacking. The person, whoever is doing hacking is called as adversary. For example, couple of hacking group names are, example, hacking group names are Chacha. So this particular attack is got compromised by Cognizant in 2021, part of April month. So they compromised all the employees of the Cognizant laptops and MacBooks and workstation desktops. So that particular attack name is called as a ransomware attack. It's a maze ransomware attack. And also Eternal Blue, and also Eternal Romance. So this particular, once again, this attack is also from the ransomware attack. Maybe it's for Accra and Petya. Next one we have Block Suit. It is there day before yesterday in the news. So this is also once again ransomware category of the attack. It's one of the hacking group. Next one, China Dragon. So it's one of the hacking group name. So this is the way there are so many hacking group names are there, and they will always try to do hacking. Okay. So these are all the hacking group names, and these are all threat actors or attackers or adversaries. They will try to do hacking. There are so many, just I give a couple of examples are 4. So next one is endpoint. So from starting day onwards, always I'm using endpoint, endpoint, endpoint. So endpoint is nothing but end user machine. Who is end user in the organization? Obviously is the employee. So this is also called as a host machine. Or this is also called as end user system. So now what are the different types of endpoints or employees they will use to their business or to do their roles and responsibility to do their work? For example, take one of the bank. So maybe in the bank, clerks will be there, probationary officers will be there, assistant managers will be there. Okay, so DMs will be there, branch manager will be there, and so on, right? So all these people, they will use desktop most of the cases because banking is a very confidential. They will not give any laptop to anyone. So those machines, whatever these clerks or probationary officers or DMs or AMs they are using, those machines we can call it as endpoints. So that is one of the example. In the similar way, in the hospital, maybe in the receptionist, maybe each and every doctor, they have desktop or laptop, and whatever they are using these employee machines, we can call it as endpoints. So example of endpoints are laptop, MacBook, workstation, desktop, phone or mobile. Even couple of times servers also will call it as endpoints. So only in the endpoint security point of, we'll consider servers also endpoints. So not only that one, we have BYOD devices as well. When you say BYOD, bring your own device. So bring your own device meaning here, you are maybe working in Infosys. So you are taking your personal mobile to Infosys company, Gachibowli, Hyderabad, for example. So then what are personal mobile you are carrying away, carrying to office location. So that is called as a BYOD, bring your own device. Maybe couple of times we'll take our personal laptop and they will take our serial number at the time of the entry into the office. And so we have to inform why we have to take personal laptop to the office location, all those. So that is also, so taking to personal computer or personal laptop to our office location, that is also BYOD device. Okay. So whatever our own or personal devices you are taking to the respective office location, that is called as a BYOD, bring your own devices. So now whenever these people are connecting to Wi-Fi, so they will monitor who is connecting to Wi-Fi related to office location and what they are doing. They will monitor each and everything whenever you are accessing. So Wi-Fi part of your bring your own devices or maybe LAN. Okay. So that is called BYOD. BYOD devices also we will consider as a endpoints or host machines. So I think based on my knowledge, so these are all the different types of definitions. So maybe wherever I missed out couple of topics, where the topic will come, I will explain about those definitions as well. Obviously, there are so many definitions will be there. So I will explain all those things later whenever that particular topic will occur. So now what I will do, I will create a new tab here, and here I'll rename this one to acronyms or full forms. So couple of, so daily basis, whatever protocols names or any other services oriented or tools oriented. So I will give the full names basically. So let's start here. LAN, already we discussed about this one. So it's a local area network. So next one is WAN, wide area network. So third one is MAN, metropolitan area network. PAN, personal area network. Next one is VLAN, virtual LAN or virtual local area network. And next one WLAN, wireless LAN or Wi-Fi LAN. Next one is IP, Internet Protocol. Next one is MAC, Media Access Control. Next one is TCP, Transmission control protocol. Next one, UDP, user datagram protocol. Next one, ARP, address resolution protocol. Next one, RARP, reverse address resolution protocol. So these two also important from the interview point of view. Okay, so what is ARP and what is RARP? So ARP, address resolution protocol, what this one will do. So as per OS layers, we have 7 layers, as I said yesterday. And also layer number 3 is a network layer and layer number 2 is data link layer. So what ARP will basically, it will convert layer 3 IP address to layer 2 MAC address, or it will map, or it will resolute. So that is called ARP. It will map layer 3 IP address to layer 2 MAC address. So that is ARP. Now what is reverse of ARP? Opposite to this one, it will convert or map layer 2 MAC address to layer 3 IP address, just opposite to ARP. So how we can see this one practically and why we have to map this one? Basically for routing purpose. For example, so this is our command. Okay, so command prompt. Yesterday already I given 2 examples. One is how to identify IP address in our system. In the similar way, second one I have shown even how to verify our MAC address. Same thing in my laptop right now. Whatever ARP tables are formed and what are the different types of IP addresses are mapped to MAC addresses, I will show now. So just you can give ARP. It's a case sensitive, anything is fine. Just give the enter. So once I given ARP here, so this is the command I given ARP only. So now it is giving the help button. Basically, it is giving a couple of recommendations. So -A, what it will do, it will displace current ARP entries in my laptop. Okay, whatever. So ARP tables, it is formed combination of mapping of the IP address to the physical address or MAC address. In the similar way, -G, same as A, nothing but it will display the ARP entries. And -V, it will view the ARP entries verbose mode, but we can't add or delete or modify. -D is for mainly deleting of the respective ARP entries. -S is for the mainly, so to adding of the couple of ARP related IP address mapping part. So now, if I want to see in my laptop what are the different types of ARP tables are formed and how the ARP IP address is mapped to respective MAC address. So now I will take ARP and I will give A. So whether any information can I see now? No. Why? Because I given wrong command. It's not existing. That is the reason it is not displaying anything. ARP space -A. Now you can see. So internet address. What is internet address? Internet will work on which layer? Internet will work on which layer? So layer number 3 as per OSA using router. So internet address is also called as a logical address. This is also called as an IP address. So it's a layer number 3 address, this one. Physical address. Physical address is nothing but. Physical address is nothing but.
MAC address.
Exactly, it's a MAC address. Now what is the definition I given? So ARP, it will provide mapping of IP address to MAC address. So nothing but here, this is the IP address 192.168.0.1. It's a 32-bit. It's IPv4 version, and MAC address is this one. This is it. So whatever definition we discussed, whether it is matching to our practical scenario or not. It's matching or
Yes.
not? Yeah. So
Yes.
ARP is to address resolution protocol. It will convert or map. So IP address to MAC address. So internet address is nothing but logical address or IP address. Physical address is nothing but MAC address. So this is the way how the ARP tables it will form under routing purpose mainly. How the traffic will go away from the organization, that is called outbound traffic. In this similar way, how the traffic will come to organization level, that is called inbound traffic. So to routing that one, we will use normally ARP entries in the ISP router to get the internet or to go away the data or to come inside the organization of the data. So that is the main difference between ARP versus RARP. Next one, HTTP, hypertext transfer protocol, HTTPS, hypertext transfer protocol security. So these protocols will fall under application layer. Okay. So why? What is the difference between these two? Basically, so in this one, data will be in the clear text. So this clear text is also called as a plain text. Nothing but in case if you are not using any encryption or if you are not using any confidentiality or without any SSL TLS certificates, and I'm transferring money in any bank or I'm ordering something in the Flipkart or maybe Amazon, maybe you are booking one of the travel ticket in Morningstar Travels. In that scenario, in case attacker will take the token ID or maybe session hijacking or maybe man in the middle attack by doing the URL manipulation or maybe parameterized query entries. So finally, our data will be taken care by attacker. And whenever we'll transfer the money, obviously it will go to attacker machine or banking. So that is the way how these HTTP has drawbacks. To eliminate all those drawbacks, just now whatever I said, so we will use HTTPS using SL over TLS. So then what HTTP will provide? It will provide security, it will provide encryption, it will provide confidentiality, it will provide authenticity, and also it will provide non-repudiation. So that is the main difference between HTTP versus HTTPS. This is also one of the interview question. So data will be transferred in encrypted format. So encrypted is nothing but just providing the password. That is called encryption. So whenever you are opening WhatsApp, on top of the WhatsApp, under the contact, we can see end-to-end encryption. What is meant by that one? So attacker cannot see the data, whatever you're chatting with other people. So in this similar, this is applicable to everywhere, not only just on apps wise, even it is applicable on the websites as well, on the endpoint and VPN and remote desktop connection and virtual private network and email encryption. There are so many places this encryption normally we will use because we should not leak our data or we should not exfiltrate the data from the attacker point of view. For example, you can see here lock symbol. Once I'm clicking on this lock symbol, you can see connection is a secure. Right now, whatever I'm using HTTPS connection, see it's not HTTP. Okay. If I'm clicking on this one now, so you can see here certificate is valid. Okay, click on this one. Now this is called certificate. This is the basically it will provide encryption using public and private keys. Okay. So now Google, how we can trust this one really, whether it is a Google website or whether someone is responding back on behalf of the Google. So based on the domain, we can identify. You can see common name. Common name is nothing but google.com. So whatever right now I am uploading the document as Excel sheet. it is nothing but it's a Google Drive. So Google Drive is from Google company. So common name or domain name, whatever SSL/TLS certificate they purchased for the google.com. Okay. Now you can see here certificate, and also you can see public key. So this is the basically encrypted key, and also in between my web browser in my personal computer to backend Google Docs or Google server. So one of the encrypted channel will form. So because Google is using SSL/TLS certificate with so public and private key exchanges and negotiations, and also it will use hash values, digital signatures as well to identify who is Ramakrishna. So that is the way how the so total SSL or TLS communication using so mutual TLS authentication mechanism using digital signature, keys will be exchanged in between the end user versus to backend so data web server. Okay, so that is overall how the HTTPS will work basically using SSL or TLS connectivity using so SSL TLS mutual authentication mechanism. So that much you have to explain at the time of the interview. Okay, so it's a secure way of connection. It will provide encrypted channel, and also it will provide authenticity, nothing but authentication. What is the identity of the user? And also it will provide non-reputation, trustworthy of the data, and also it will provide confidentiality. So nobody can see our data because we are entering public key or private key as a password. So what in a public and private key? It's like a key. Just now I have shown. So part of this one. So attacker is not aware of the what is the key we are exchanging in between our end user to backend web server. Okay. So to take that one private key or public key, whatever we are encrypting and decrypting, it's very complicated. It's not that much easy. Okay. So that is about HTTP versus HTTPS. And under the part of the application security, we have one of the topic name is called as cryptography controls or cryptography algorithms. There I will explain in-depth analysis how the so encrypted channel will form, what is SSL or TLS connectivity, and also what is SSL TLS mutual authentication mechanism. Next one is LDAP, lightweight directory access protocol. So LDAP, so most of the security tools we will integrate with our Active Directory. So Active Directory, how we can integrate using LDAP protocol, and port number for LDAP is 630, no, 389. Using that one for each and every security tool, we have to integrate not only our tools basically, even in the cloud environment, couple of so application development team or they will integrate. So these Active Directories using LDAP protocol. Okay, so Active Directory, which protocol it will use? LDAP and port number 389. It is not a secure one. Okay, so LDAP can be used to integrate with Active Directory. So why we have to integrate with Active Directory? Because whenever any security incident it's happened, for traceability wise, who has done what? Okay, so at that particular instant it's happened, whether X user has done or Y user has done or Z or Z user has done. So to identify that identity of the user, normally we will integrate with the Active Directory. So for firewall, we'll integrate with Active Directory. EDR we will integrate with Active Directory. And also SIM tool will integrate, almost all the tools will integrate with Active Directory using LDAP protocol. Okay, but it is not a secured one. It is not secure protocol. Then what is secure protocol to integrate LDAP? LDAPs. Same thing, lightweight direct access protocol, security. S means security here additionally. So here LDAP can be used to integrate the Active Directory in secure manner. Basically, LDAP can be used to integrate with Active Directory in secure manner. And port number is 636. And this one is 389. So port and protocols will discuss all these port numbers. Okay, so that is about LDAP versus LDAPs. Next one is FTP, file transfer protocol. So what this FTP will use? So by doing the abbreviation itself, we know. So we can transfer the files from X to Y, or maybe from the file server to our end user machine. So prior to cloud entering into the market, we are using one of the dedicated file server. From there, we are keeping all of our teams related files. And from there, we are copying into our respective maybe laptops or MacBooks and workstation desktop. Once the cloud is entering into the market, now everywhere we are using Google Drive, or maybe we are using OneDrive. For those places we are uploading, and according to our team wise, we are giving the permissions and restrictions, and also granting the access or privileged or access wise. Okay, so that is FTP. It is not a secured one. To transfer the files, we will use FTP, but it is not a secured one. Now we can use, to eliminate this particular FTP drawback, we will use SFTP, secure file transfer protocol. So file transfer can be accessed through secure manner. SFTP can be used file transfer purpose with secure way. So that is the difference between FTP versus SFTP. So next one we have RDP. So RDP full form is remote desktop. So why will use this remote desktop? From our virtual, from our physical laptop or MacBook or workstation or desktop or server, maybe if you want to log into another machine, use remote. It's a virtual connection basically. For example, I want to access one of the Windows server. RDP is dedicatedly applicable to only Windows operating systems only. From the Unix side, we will use Telnet. Okay. So telecommunication network. On the Windows side, we will use RDP. From my laptop, if I want to connect any gem server in the cloud, or maybe if I want to connect any Windows server or any other laptop, so now I have to use RDP. So it's like a virtual connectivity. I no need to go into the respective server or end user machine. There I no need to enter username and password. Directly from my laptop, I can go and I can log into the respective other asset or other system through virtually or logically. For example, if you want to log into the RDP connectivity to connect any asset or server, we have to go to the search button and we have to give remote desktop. So this is remote desktop respect to app or connection. And here we have to whatever machine you are going to connect. Here you can give maybe respect to asset IP address or else host name also or computer name. So example 10.10.1, it's one of the Windows server. Now I have to click on the connect. And whenever you are connecting this one, compulsory we have to connect it to VPN. It's a virtual private network. So if I'm connecting also now, it will come as an error. Why? Because I'm not sure who is the what is the IP address of 10.10.10.1 and also who is the which customer it is using that one. Let's see. But in the organization point of view, after connecting VPN, and if you want to connect this particular any other machine from our laptop, yeah, that's what I said. So error will come. So in our organization point of view, just we have to enter respect to either IP address or maybe host name of the respective asset or computer or server. Then you have to give the connect. And once you're giving the clicking on the connect button, then it will ask username and password. Now we have to give the username and password of that particular virtual machine, whatever we are going to connect from our laptop. Then automatically it will ask SSL TLS certificate, allow or deny or accept. So we have to click on allow, and according to that one, automatically it will connect it to our machine. So this is the way how we can connect it to other assets virtually from our physical machines. So that is about RDP, and port number is 3389. To connect any asset virtually, we will use RDP protocol and port number 3389. Next one is Telnet. It's a telecommunication network. So in the Unix this is on the Windows side only. This is applicable to Windows only. So Telnet is applicable to Unix operating system. Under Unix, we have different types of servers, like, for example, Red Hat Enterprise Linux, RHEL, or CentOS, or SUSE, or Debian, or Ubuntu, or Docker, or Container, or Feroda. All these are Unix-related operating system. If you want to connect one Unix operating system to another Unix operating system, then we have to use the Telnet using PuTTY application. Okay, so that is about Telnet. To connect one Unix machine with another Unix machine, we will use Telnet. Okay, so on the RDP side, sorry, Windows side it's RDP, and the Unix side it's a Telnet. Okay, next one we have SSL, secure socket layer. For web browser connectivity with a secure way, we will use SSL basically. For securing web application or websites, we will use SSL. On port number 443, TLS is a transport layer security. So this is a legacy right now. We are not using any more SSL connectivity. So till 2013 or 14, we used SSL. So once the hard to bleed attack it's happened, or hard to bleed, no, poodle attack it's happened in 2008 to 2014 in between. So because of the SSL side, SSL 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, there are a lot of vulnerabilities are existing. Attacker is try to use all these vulnerability exploitation, and finally, so he's using couple of attacks like, as I said, Sweet 32 or Poodle attack or SSL inspection attack, and finally he is compromising our respective web servers or applications. To eliminate this drawback, so now we have transport layer security, that is called TLS. So TLS also, once again, there are legacy versions are there, TLS 1.0, TLS 1.1, 1.2, and 1.3. Right now 1.4 is in beta version. Maybe within 1 year time period, we'll get 1.4 as well. So what is the current version of the TLS we are using? 1.2 and 1.3. These two versions are completely encrypted one. Attacker cannot compromise these versions. Okay. So this one is legacy. We are not using any more SSL. So when you say legacy, it's old version or outdated version. So TLS, it's a transport layer security, same thing. For web browser security or app security, we will use TLS under HTTPS. Okay, so this is the one, and latest version of the TLS is TLS 1.2 and also TLS 1.3, and we should not use TLS 1.0 and 1.1. As I said, TLS 1.4 also right now in beta, it is in development state right now. Once the development is completed and without any errors and without any security testing issues or without any normal testing feature related issues are there, then respect to OpenSSL company, they will release the TLS version to the public as a general availability. So that is about SSL and TLS and SSH. So SSH, why we will use? It's a secure shell. So to log into respective Unix operating system using PuTTY application, we will use SSH. To log into, I think I don't have putty. Let's see. Yeah, it is there. So if I want to connect from my laptop to respective Linux server, okay, so now I have to use SSH. By default, port number is 22. Okay, so now here I have to give to the respective Unix operating system related servers like Red Hat Enterprise Linux server or Ubuntu or Debian or maybe so SUSE or Peroda, all these different types of operating system IP address or else host name I can give. So that's what they given. Either you can enter the host name or else IP address. Once we are giving, okay, so open, then it will ask username and password. Now, whatever Unix operating system servers we are using, we have to enter the respective username and password. Then automatically through VPN, we can connect it to our Unix operating system servers. So telnet also I said previously. Yeah. If I others under the other, there are so many other connectivities as well. Telnet I selected, port number is 23. Okay. So now I have to give the same thing Unix operating server from that machine. Once again, if I want to log into the respect to another Unix server, then I have to use telnet. So that is about practical way how we can connect Unix operating system versus Windows servers. So Windows is for the RTP and also SSH is for the Linux. To log into Unix operating system servers, we will use SSH. It's like a virtual terminal. It is not physical. So it is one of the entire question. What is the difference between SSL versus SSH? So SSL is mainly for the securing of the web browsing. Our application will use SSL. But what is SSH? SSH we can use mainly for to log into Unix operating system. So that is the main difference between SSL versus SSH. Okay. Next one, SMTP. Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. So why will use this simple mail transfer protocol? To send the emails and to receive the emails, we will use SMTP protocol or server. To send or to receive the emails, we will use SMTP protocol or SMTP server. And port number is 25, it's important. So SMTP server has other alternative names as well. Those names are other alternative names for SMTP server, Exchange or Outlook or Office 365 or UCS, Unified Communication Server or email server. So these many names are there for so respect to SMTP server. A couple of companies or organizations, they will call it as a SMTP server team or email team or Outlook team or maybe Exchange team or maybe UCS. When you say UCS, Unified Communication Server team, nothing but same thing, SMTP server team. So that is about SMTP. Next one, VPN. Virtual Private Network full form. It is a private connection in between end user to our headquarters or remote office to remote location to the headquarters. In the tunnel, respect to data can be transferred using public network or internet. That is called VPN. Even though you are sitting in home and you are connecting to your office location as a work from home option. So how you are connecting to your office location? Through public network or internet or Wi-Fi. So once you are connecting that particular private network virtually, not physically, When you say physical VPN, you are going to office, there you are connecting to VPN. That is called physical VPN. But you are sitting in your home and you are doing work from home option. If you want to access your office application, we have to connect it to our private network. That is nothing but our office location. So this is like a virtual part and it's a private network in between. So where you are sitting in your home to respective office location. So in between our personal or remote or home to the respective headquarters or office location, one of the tunnel or pipe will be formed through public network or internet. Through the tunnel only data can be transferred. And finally, this VPN, it will provide SSL or TLS certificates once again, and it will provide encrypted channel, and also it will provide authenticity, it will provide authorization, it will provide confidentiality, it will provide privacy, and finally it will provide non-repudiation as well. Okay, so from past 3 years and 4 years, still couple of people are working on work from home option as a remote because of the pandemic or corona. So how these particular business we completed, how our day-to-day activities we are completing because of this particular VPN. So it will provide private network in between remote location to headquarters or office location via public network or internet using tunnel is called as VPN. It will provide, even though we are using public network or internet, because most of the attacks will happen through so public network only. So it will provide authenticity because you are giving your VPN credential like a username and password. That is like authenticity. Authorization. Authorization will be provided by backend VPN server. That may be a firewall or a dedicated VPN like Pulse Secure or Cisco ASA. So we have other Citrix, and also we have Fortinet or Global Protect. There are so many, Zscaler or Zscaler. There are so many VPNs we do have. So authorization will be provided by respective backend VPN server or else firewall, because firewall itself we can configure as a VPN also. Then it will provide confidentiality. It will provide non-repudiation, nothing but trustworthy data using integrity. And also it will provide privacy. And finally, encryption. So just now here itself, you can see HTTPS. Here we will use SSL TLS certificates. And remote desktop. Here also we will use SSL TLS certificates. And even VPN side also, we'll use SSL TLS certificates using cryptography algorithms that may be symmetric or asymmetric. Not only on that one, even email as well. So simple mail transfer protocol dedicatedly on the email server or email gateway, we can configure the SSL TLS certificates. So that is the way, these are the places we can use SSL TLS certificate to make sure that, so whatever data we are accessing and whatever data we are sending, whatever assets we are accessing, it will provide completely confidentiality and security and privacy, and also non-repudiation and authenticity and authorization part. So that is called VPN.
At the organization level, credentials will be validated by the AC and DC. And when we are trying to connect through network VPN, client network location, then validated by the VPN. Am I right?
No, basically it depends on the two different types of VPNs. One is remote VPN. There are two different types of VPNs. I am not explaining here because you will get confusion here. So one is remote VPN. Second one, this is called IPsec VPN basically. It's a very big topic. Second one is site-to-site VPN. So for example, remote VPN, for example, I given work from home option because everybody is aware of this one. Site to site VPN. So when you say site to site VPN, maybe you are working for Infosys, and your client location is Bank of America. Nowadays, everywhere we are using Citrix. Prior to Citrix, now we are using site to site VPN. First, we have to connect, forget about Citrix now. So first we have to connect it to our Infosys Hyderabad location. So VPN. From there, we have to connect it to, so which is the client I given? Bank of America, right? So Bank of America, for example, our client. In between Infosys to respect to Bank of America, we will configure one of the site-to-site VPN. So even though we are located in two different continents and two different countries, Bank of America is located in the USA or North America, sorry. So, and also, so our Infosys is located in the India. So for these two locations, if we are configuring the site-to-site VPN, in between our firewall from Infosys Hyderabad and also bank firewall, so from the Bank of America side, they will make security negotiations, and also they will make IKE phase 1 and also IKE phase 2 exchanges, like for example, hello, peer-to-peer communication and authentication header and encapsulation and decapsulation using tunnel mode and also using main mode. Finally, so one of the tunnel will form through public network or through internet or through Wi-Fi. So whenever I'm accessing from my Infosys location to the Bank of America location, so this is the way how the traffic can be exchanged, and finally I can support to my client. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, yes, yes.
I don't think so. Why? Because it is not that much easy to understand. So that is the reason I did not explain here. But in-depth analysis I will provide part of the firewall topic under network security.
Yes, understood. As you said, authentication, authorization,
Yeah,
verifying
authentication and
services.
authorization, as I said, so first initial connectivity, it will be validated by our Infosys company, and also whatever VPN they configured, they said also it will validate using multi-factor authentication.
Yes, yes, understood. Just.
Yeah. Anyway, these are all the types of VPN. Thanks for asking. I covered these topic also. One is remote VPN. Remote VPN is also called as IPsec VPN. And the second one is site-to-site VPN. These are the two different types of VPNs. So next one, ICMP, Internet Control Message Protocol. So why will you this Internet Control Message Protocol? Mainly for the sending the messages or to verify whether opposite device up or down. Okay. So how can I verify whether opposite device is up or down? For example, I'll go to command prompt and I will enter here ping command. So ping why will use? Ping is nothing but just for sending the message. In the WhatsApp, whatever messages you are giving or you are sending, that is called as a ping, basically pinging. Okay. So pinging meaning here sending the messages or receiving the messages basically. Now I want to see in between my laptop to respect to Google whether connection will be established or not. So whether I can access or not, whether my system is facing to the internet or not. So let's try. So I will try google.com domain name. So now I given ping command and I given google.com. So now from my laptop to google.com, you can see here pinging Google, nothing but message is going through ICMP protocol. Ping command will use ICMP protocol as a service for communication purpose. Now in between to my laptop to respect to Google server related to public DNS, it has taken approximate time, TTL, that is called time to live, and also bytes is 32 because it's a 32-bit IPv4 address. Okay, so finally packet sent is, this one we can discuss later. Forget about this one, you'll get confusion. So now why we'll use ping? Mainly for messaging purpose. via internet. Internet control message protocol. So messaging purpose we'll use ICMP protocol. One thing what you have to remember from ICMP side, it doesn't have any port number because it is service. It's important, guys. Because it doesn't have any port number, that is the reason maybe in the interview we can expect it. Okay, guys, I think I thought to complete all these abbreviations. It's okay, no problem. So what I will do tomorrow, first half an hour, I'm going to complete remaining abbreviations or full forms or acronyms. Once that one is complete, then I will start OSLAS under networking concepts. And tomorrow class is 9 a.m. IST morning. Is it clear?
Yes, ICMP is main purpose internal users only, messaging purpose within the organization.
Not, yes, most of the case within the organization. Yes, you are right.
Why? Because there is no port number means internal.
Yeah, it is mainly for the internet facing and for sending the messages. Yeah. Any other? Sorry, guys, from past 5 to 6 classes, whatever I took so far, I was going completely in-depth analysis. I'm sure most of the people are not able to understand these concepts. Why? Because it's a complete new technology to you. So it will take 1 week to adjust. So that is the reason all these terminologies I given proactively, because the next whatever classes we are going to discuss regularly, I will use these definitions and terminology and also acronyms. So that is the reason all these things I'm giving. So before course is going to start, so that you will get comfortable whenever I will start classes from tomorrow. But all these are very, very important topics. For example, cyberrkcybertechnology process, MITRE attack framework. Okay, one of the candidate was attended day before yesterday, one of the interview. In the second round of the interview, I think I forgot the company name. So in that interview, they asked about what is the difference between cyberrkcybertechnology process and MITRE attack framework. One more guy is also attended interview. And so in that particular interview, they asked about, as per MITRE attack framework, under the lateral movement, what are the different types of techniques will fall under? Okay. So yeah, that is what I said. So firewall, web application firewall, EDR, NDR, XDR, WASP top 10. Okay. So proxy or web gateway. So confidentiality, integrity, availability, vulnerability, threat, risk. So all these are very, very important from the interview point of view. Okay. So that's all for today. Once again, thank you so very much. And tomorrow class is at 9 a.m. IST. And the first half an hour, we will discuss about couple of acronyms and full forms. After that, I will start networking concepts. Under networking concepts, I'm going to start OSLAS. Okay, guys, that's all for today evening. And thank you so very much. And good night.
Thank you, sir. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you. Good morning. Good night.
Good morning. Oh my God.